Whatever the mind of a woman can conceive and believe, she can achieve. There's a special kind of woman who enters a room and changes its entire temperature. She doesn't beg for attention. Attention bends to her. She doesn't chase, she chooses. And no, she's not always the youngest, the loudest, or the most conventionally beautiful. But she's magnetic. Why? Because she has mastered something far more powerful than beauty, her mindset. Just like wealth, love and admiration are not earned by accident, they are drawn in by design. So before we go further, take a moment, press the like button, subscribe if you're ready to step into your power, and let's create something irresistible together. Let me give you a little metaphor. Think of yourself like a lighthouse. Ships don't chase lighthouses, their light draws ships in. You don't need to shout or wave your arms, just shine with steady brilliance, and everything around you will respond. Or picture a well-tuned violin in a crowded orchestra. It doesn't overpower, it resonates. That's what today's video is about. Your frequency, your energy, your presence. Remember the woman at the cafe who spoke gently but captivated everyone at the table? Or your friend who doesn't need to dress up but still turns heads at brunch? These women aren't lucky. They've developed habits that make them unforgettable. And today, I'll show you exactly what those are, backed by psychology, inner work, and a little Napoleon Hill flair. But before we begin, I have a fun task for you. Type this in the comments. Radiate, attract, repeat. Say it out loud if you dare. Show him, show the universe, and most importantly, show yourself. Because what's coming next isn't just about behavior, it's about transformation, the kind that turns confidence into your new signature scent. Ready to dive in? Let's go. Number 1, definite confidence of purpose. Napoleon Hill once said, "The starting point of all achievement is desire." Keep this constantly in mind. Now let's get into the heartbeat of magnetism, confidence. Not the loud, boastful kind, but the quiet, undeniable certainty that says, "I know who I am and I like her." Here's the truth most people miss. Men don't notice your lipstick first, or your new hair, or your perfectly coordinated outfit. Before all that, they feel your energy. And energy, darling, doesn't lie. And Napoleon Hill said desire is the starting point of all achievement. Think about that. Desire doesn't mean desperation, it means clarity. It means knowing what you want and walking like it's already yours. That's confidence, not hoping you'll be chosen, choosing yourself first. Let's answer the little voice that might be popping up right now in your mind. But what if I don't feel confident yet? Great question. Here's the secret. Confidence isn't something you either have or don't have. It's something you build, just like wealth. It's not magic, it's muscle. And every day you train it. Through how you speak, how you walk, how you look at the world and at yourself. Imagine 2 women walk into a room. One fits every beauty standard but avoids eye contact, shrinks into the corner and looks unsure. The other woman? Maybe she's older, maybe she's wearing flats, but her back is straight. Her gaze is direct. Her energy says, "I belong here." Guess who turns heads? Every single time. Confidence is felt. It's the inner music that moves your outer rhythm. It's in the way you say your name, the way you enter a room without needing to apologize for taking up space. Remember this, confidence isn't about being the best. It's about not needing to compete. Here's a real-life example you'll love. A study from Webster University found that people rated individuals with high self-confidence as more attractive, even when they didn't meet traditional beauty standards. Why? Because confidence sends a message. I am valuable. And people respond to that certainty like flowers lean toward sunlight. Now let's bring this back to Napoleon Hill. In Think and Grow Rich, he taught the technique of auto-suggestion, repeating powerful affirmations to rewire your subconscious. Want to know how to make this feminine and magnetic? Here's a simple yet powerful daily affirmation ritual just for you. Each morning, look in the mirror and say slowly and with intention, I radiate confidence, I deserve connection, I attract what aligns. Say it like you're already living it. Not because you're faking it, but because you're training your mind to believe it. You wouldn't expect toned arms after one gym session, right? Same goes for confidence. It's repetition that rewires belief. A quick posture tip. Walk like your heels are kissing the earth with purpose. Hold your head like your dreams live behind your eyes. Speak slowly. Rushed words often hide insecurity. Pause before you speak, like every sentence deserves its own stage. These aren't just gestures, they are silent declarations. I am grounded, I am unshakable. And here's the beautiful twist. When you stop needing validation, it starts pouring in, not because you're performing, but because your presence whispers, this woman knows her worth. Let me leave you with this gem. The man who does not believe in himself cannot believe in anything else. That was Napoleon Hill again, reminding us that the outside world reflects the inside world. So if you want to become irresistible, don't start with your wardrobe, start with your worth. Now that you've got this fire in your belly and a mirror affirmation ready to go, wait until you discover what's next. Because in the next section, we'll uncover how not chasing anyone actually flips the entire power dynamic in your favor. You'll learn the elegant art of controlled detachment, the kind that makes men chase, lean in, and stay curious. Trust me, you don't want to miss that. Number 2, the power of controlled detachment. Let's talk about detachment, but not the cold, standoffish kind you see in movies. I'm talking about controlled detachment, the elegant, quiet power of a woman who knows her energy is valuable and her presence is earned. It's the art of letting someone chase you without lifting a single finger. And yes, it's one of the most magnetic forces you can cultivate. Napoleon Hill taught us about the power of decision, the ability to choose what we want with unwavering clarity and move forward without looking back. He wasn't just talking about business or wealth. This principle applies to relationships too. When you decide with full certainty, I do not chase, I attract, everything around you begins to shift. You start living from your worth instead of searching for proof of it in someone else's attention. Now you might be wondering, but if I detach, won't he lose interest? That's a fair concern, and it's one many women quietly carry. But let me tell you a truth that might change everything. Neediness repels, and independence draws people in. When you're overly available, when you respond immediately, over-explain yourself, or anxiously check for a reply, you're not communicating affection, you're signaling insecurity. On the other hand, when you give someone space to wonder about you, to earn your energy, that's when you become unforgettable. Think of it like this: when something is always within reach, we stop noticing it. But when it's rare, when there's a little mystery involved, our curiosity is triggered. We lean in, we want more. This is what I call the law of uncertainty, and it's your new best friend. A woman who practices this law with grace holds the reins of every interaction, not by force, but by presence. Let's make this real for a moment. Imagine you've just had a great conversation with a man. You're tempted to keep the momentum going, text back instantly, keep talking, keep showing up. But instead, you pause, you breathe, you smile to yourself and go on with your day. Not to play games, but because you have your own game to play. Maybe you light a candle and do something calming. Maybe you write down 3 things you're proud of this week. Maybe you take yourself out for coffee, not to distract from him, but to reconnect with you. This is how you train your mind to validate itself first. Controlled detachment means your sense of worth doesn't rise and fall based on someone else's mood or message. You don't check your phone hoping for reassurance. You already have it. Your energy says, "You're welcome to show up for me, but I'm not sitting here waiting." And when you hold that energy, people feel it. You'll start to notice something funny. Those who were pulling away might start coming back. Not because you begged, but because your absence created space for their effort. That's the magic of feminine power in motion. Napoleon Hill said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." Detachment is how you revoke that consent. You stop outsourcing your peace to unpredictable people. You become your own safe place. Here's a little image to hold on to, a candle in the dark. The flame doesn't chase the moths, it simply burns. And yet everything is drawn to it, and we're just getting started. Because up next, you're going to learn how your style, yes, what you wear, how you carry yourself, can act as your non-verbal signature of power. It's not about trends, it's about embodiment. Trust me, once you understand this, you'll never walk into a room the same way again. Number 3. Style as an extension of belief. Let's talk about your style, not just what you wear, but what you signal. Because here's the truth, your appearance is never just about clothing. It's a message, a vibration, a silent broadcast to the world that says, "This is how I feel about myself." Napoleon Hill taught that belief must be backed by action. You can't say you believe in your power and show up looking like you're trying to shrink into the wallpaper. No, ma'am. That's not alignment. That's hesitation dressed in beige. But when you step into a room with intention, when your posture, your scent, your outfit all reflect your faith in self, that's when heads turn without you even trying. Let's get one thing straight. Style is not about vanity. It's about symbolism. It's your personal branding, your energetic handshake. A woman who knows her worth doesn't dress to impress others. She dresses to honor herself. And trust me, you can tell the difference. Think about the last time you saw a woman who was just put together. Not necessarily model gorgeous, but something about her, the way her blouse sat just right on her shoulders, the way her perfume lingered softly in the air, the way she walked like the floor belonged to her, was magnetic. That's not luck. That's intentional energy worn like armor. Now Hill believed deeply in the power of faith through action. And style is your daily ritual of that principle. When you put effort into your look, not for attention, but for alignment, you're saying to the world, "I take myself seriously." And the world mirrors that right back to you. So let's talk about some ways to express your inner certainty through your outer appearance. First, color. Yes, the shade you wear carries energy. Red is bold, it screams passion, presence. I'm here and I mean it. Black whispers sophistication and mystery. White radiates clarity and peace. Navy blue? Authority. Earth tones say, "I'm grounded, warm and real." You're not just picking a shirt, you're selecting your mood for the day. So next time you open your closet, don't ask, "What's cute?" Ask, "What energy do I want to embody?" Second, your fragrance. Never underestimate the power of scent. The sense of smell is tied directly to memory and emotion. Want to be unforgettable? Choose a signature scent that makes you feel magnetic, floral, spicy, woodsy, whatever feels like your essence in a bottle. Spray it not because you want to be noticed, but because it reminds you of who you are. That's your invisible crown. Now let's talk rituals. Every woman needs a getting ready routine that doesn't feel like a chore. It should feel like ceremony. Light music, soft lighting, a few intentional affirmations while you brush your hair or smooth your dress. Something like, I am dressed in my power. I carry elegance. I attract only what aligns. Let each step be a conscious act of stepping into your highest self. And don't forget, it's not about being perfect. It's about being on purpose. You don't need the latest trends. You need what fits your spirit. That favorite blazer that makes you feel like a CEO. Those earrings that make you feel like art. That lipstick shade that flips your mood instantly. It's not fashion. It's energy management.
One final thought. Style is how your soul introduces itself before your mouth even moves. So use it wisely, use it truthfully, use it with boldness.
Because what's coming next is going to deepen this even more. If your style is your silent signature, then your energy, your feminine essence, is the ink that writes it. In the next section, we'll unlock the powerful mystery of feminine energy and how learning to receive without chasing will make you more magnetic than ever. You're going to love it. Number 4, magnetism through feminine energy. Now let's enter the realm where true magnetism lives, feminine energy. Not to be confused with weakness or waiting around for someone to complete you. No, feminine energy, when understood and mastered, is not passive, it is strategic allowance. It is the art of receiving without begging, influencing without pushing, and trusting in your power without having to prove it. And when you learn to live in this space, people feel it before you ever say a word. Napoleon Hill wrote about something called applied faith, the belief that what you want is already on its way, even when there's no evidence yet. That is the root of feminine magnetism. It's that quiet knowing in your bones, I don't have to force, chase, or convince. I simply align and allow. Most women are told that to get what they want, especially in love, they need to take the reins, make the first move, initiate everything. But feminine energy doesn't operate in pursuit. It operates in presence. The more you relax into your worth, the more others feel compelled to rise to meet you. Let's break the myth. Being feminine doesn't mean being submissive. It means being so deeply rooted in your self-worth that you don't reach, you attract. You don't need to chase because your energy becomes a silent invitation. Think of the moon. It doesn't make noise. It doesn't run around the sky, but it controls the tides. Now, maybe you're thinking, okay, but what does this look like in real life? Let's say you're talking to someone new. Instead of steering every part of the conversation, pause, listen, let there be silence. Watch what he does with it. Instead of planning the next date, ask, what do you have in mind? Give him room to step up. Let him earn your energy, not because you're playing hard to get, but because you value your own emotional investment. Start practicing receptivity in your daily life. When someone offers help, accept it with grace. When someone gives you a compliment, receive it fully instead of brushing it off. When something beautiful shows up in your day, whether it's a gesture, an opportunity, or just a quiet moment, don't rush through it. Sit with it. Feminine energy is never in a hurry. It moves like honey, not lightning. The next layer of this is slowing down. We live in a world addicted to urgency, but attraction doesn't grow in pressure. It grows in pause. Speak more slowly. Move with intention. When you walk into a room, don't rush to be seen, simply be. That stillness, that grounded ease speaks volumes, and it whispers, I'm not here to perform, I'm here to be experienced. Remember, the most magnetic women aren't always the loudest or the boldest. They are the ones whose presence lingers, who make people wonder, who was that? Not because they said too much, but because they left space. That space is sacred, it's mystery, it's power. Here's a little real-world gem. A study from the University of California found that men were more drawn to women who displayed calm, receptive body language, open posture, soft voice, and slower speech than those who led with intensity. Why? Because these women embodied effortless femininity, which made them feel more approachable, more inspiring, and yes, more captivating. So as you move forward, repeat this to yourself. I do not chase, I attract. I do not force, I flow. Let others feel the invitation of your energy, and let the right ones respond.
Because next, we're going even deeper into your voice, not just how to speak, but how to connect, create chemistry, and spark desire through the art of conversation. You'll discover why speaking less, but with purpose, might just be the most seductive skill you ever develop. Stay with me, it only gets better from here.
Number 5, mastery of conversation equals mastery of the mind. Napoleon Hill once said, "The man who does more than he is paid for will soon be paid for more than he does." Let's reframe this one with a little feminine magic. The woman who gives more through presence than performance will be remembered long after the conversation ends. Because when it comes to attraction, attention, and emotional influence, mastery of conversation is really mastery of the mind. Here's the mistake most women make when trying to connect. They think they have to talk more to be more interesting. But true feminine power doesn't show off, it suggests. It doesn't fill every silence. It invites curiosity into the silence. The most captivating women aren't the ones who dominate a room with volume. They're the ones who leave people wondering what's behind that slow smile, that well-timed pause, that spark in their eye. Napoleon Hill taught that real influence comes from clarity, vision, and story. Not from over-explaining, not from proving, but from direct, purposeful communication. Apply this to your conversations and something magical happens. You stop performing and you start creating chemistry. Think of conversation as a dance. If you're stepping on every beat, there's no rhythm. But if you pause just enough, hold back, tilt your head, give space, you create tension. You build desire. And tension is a beautiful thing when it's done with elegance. Let me ask you something. Have you ever met someone who talked so much that you stopped listening halfway through? Now think of the opposite, a woman who said little, but said it well. Who looked at you a little too long before responding, who answered with layers, not paragraphs. That's presence, that's influence,
And that's what you want to embody.
a powerful woman doesn't give everything away at once. She leaves something unsaid. She knows the value of a mysterious half answer. If someone asks her a personal question, she doesn't spill her life story. She might just say, "That's a long one. Maybe I'll tell you someday." That line gets remembered. This isn't about withholding who you are. It's about revealing it strategically with grace. In the same way, a great book doesn't give away the ending. In chapter 1, a magnetic woman doesn't rush the reveal. She lets the story unfold on her terms. Start playing with this right away. Practice strategic pauses in your conversations. You don't need to rush to respond. When someone asks you a question, take a beat, breathe, look at them, then speak. That tiny moment, it creates intrigue. It's the difference between reacting and responding with presence. Try this too. Instead of answering every question in full, layer your responses. Let them earn the deeper details. If someone asks where you grew up, maybe you say, "All over." It's a story full of surprises. Let the mystery live a little. People are more engaged when there's more to discover. And remember, your voice itself is a tool of seduction. Slow it down, add warmth, use tone intentionally. A soft, confident voice with thoughtful pacing carries far more weight than a rushed explanation. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. Hill's wisdom applies beautifully here. Give more through your energy than through your effort. Let people feel your presence. Let them lean in because they want to, not because you're trying to pull them in. Conversation isn't a sales pitch, it's an invitation. And you, my dear, are the party. As we wrap up this piece, think of this. In a world that's loud, your stillness becomes a signal. In a world that overshares, your subtlety becomes a thrill. Your silence doesn't weaken your power, it intensifies it. And just when you thought it couldn't get more magnetic, what comes next might be the most attractive quality of all. Because a woman who owns her time, her space, and her mission becomes more than desirable. She becomes unforgettable. In the next section, you'll discover why independence isn't just empowering, it's a complete aphrodisiac. Stay close, because this is where things get unstoppable. Number 6. Self-sufficiency, the ultimate attraction. Now we arrive at the crown jewel of attraction, the one trait that silently stuns, effortlessly commands respect, and makes you unforgettable in a world full of performers. Self-sufficiency. Because while confidence catches the eye and mystery holds attention, it's independence that cements your power. Napoleon Hill didn't sugarcoat it. He believed that success doesn't need to be explained, it announces itself through results. And guess what? The same goes for a magnetic woman. She doesn't need to explain why she's valuable. She doesn't submit resumes for love or audition for affection. Her energy speaks first. Her life, full of purpose and movement, becomes the gravity that pulls others in. Let's be honest, nothing repels like desperation. A woman whose entire sense of fulfillment revolves around whether he texts back. That energy screams scarcity. But a woman who is lit up by her own mission, who's deeply immersed in becoming, learning, building, evolving, that woman becomes a universe worth orbiting. And here's the shift. You are not the accessory in someone else's story. You're not the reward for his ambition. You're the main character in your own narrative. And the right man? He's the bonus content. You are the source. He is the supplement. Now let's address the internal critic that might whisper, but what if I don't have a mission yet? That's okay. That's where you start. Your mission doesn't have to be grand or polished. It simply needs to be yours. What excites you? What do you want to build, learn, explore, create? Maybe it's launching a business, writing a book, learning Italian, dancing salsa, volunteering, painting your dreams onto canvas. Your magnetism multiplies when you are in motion because passion is sexy, ambition is attractive, and purpose, that's straight up irresistible. Let me give you a real-world scenario. Think of the woman who's so in love with her life, her projects, her goals, her mornings, her peace, that a man entering her world has to ask himself, what value do I bring to her life? That question, that's power. Because now he's trying to earn a place, not be handed one by default. And Napoleon Hill would call that value creation. You don't wait for people to notice your worth. You build something so valuable within and around you that people can't ignore it. Hill said if you create value, others will seek you. Apply that to your relationships and suddenly you're not wondering who will choose you. You're choosing who deserves access. Let's get practical. Start by defining your mission, even loosely. Journal on it, brainstorm, ask yourself, what would I do every day if no one was watching? Then take the smallest possible action toward it today. Build momentum in baby steps, and then elevate your circle. Audit your surroundings, who lifts you, who drains you. Let go of environments that make you shrink. Invest in friendships that make you feel like you can grow into the woman you're becoming, not the one you're outgrowing. Be around people who speak the language of ambition, softness, laughter, and evolution. And most importantly, feed your spirit daily. Read something that expands your thinking. Move your body in a way that feels like self-worship. Speak kindly to yourself like you're your own soulmate. Light that candle. Play that song. Take yourself out. Not because you're lonely, but because your relationship with yourself is the foundation of every other connection. Self-sufficiency is not isolation, it's sovereignty. It's saying, I am enough, whether loved or alone. And the paradox? That energy is the exact thing that draws the right kind of love into your life, because men don't want to be your oxygen, they want to be invited into a life that's already breathtaking. So repeat after me, I am my own source. Write it, believe it, embody it. And if you've made it this far, you already know attraction is not a fluke. It's not about age or looks or luck. It's about energy, your energy. And now, with all 6 behaviors in your toolbox, you're ready to step into the world not just as a woman, but as a force. Still, one final insight remains, one that ties all of this together, that transcends behavior and lands in your soul. Ready to discover the secret of what men really remember about you long after you're gone? Let's finish strong.
And now, as we bring it all together, remember this. True magnetism isn't found in a mirror, it's built in your mindset, habits, and energy. You've learned that confidence, detachment, style, feminine presence, intentional speech, and independence aren't just traits, they're choices. Daily practices that shape how the world responds to you. Men may notice your looks, but they remember your essence. So step into your power boldly, because you're not here to be liked, you're here to be felt. If this resonated with you, like the video, subscribe for more, and share it with a woman you know is ready to rise.